we have always pondered over ever since we finished our school. And the respective topic is what path or what strategies should we follow during our college days, so which can help us to frame our career in a better way possible. Now, this topic is still ambiguous to majority of us. But don't worry, today's session will give you all there is to know about the various paths and strategies which will help you to reach your desired position. Today, we'll be joined by a fellow contemporary and a scholar of Delhi University. He'll be talking in detail about his personal experiences and the things he came across during his journey from a Delhi University college to a university in Russia. He'll also be providing us with an elaborate roadmap so as to clear any remnant ambiguities. Now I would like to introduce our speaker for the day, Mr. Yash Sharma. Yash is a data scientist and working as a machine learning engineer in Russia. He is pursuing his master's in computer science from the St. Petersburg Electrotechnical University. Yash is a fellow DUite like us and completed his bachelor's from the Aryabhatta College. We are thrilled to have him today with us to guide us through his skeptical journey. Just before we get started, I have a few additional points I would like to point out. If you have any queries during the course of the session, please ask them towards the end as we have arranged for a dedicated Q&A. You all are directed to keep your mics and videos mute throughout the course of the session. Any lewd behavior or action will result in the immediate termination of the respective participant without any prior warning. Now, without further ado, I would like to hand over the meeting to Yash to begin today's session. Yash, if you please come forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this lovely introduction. Hi everyone. Like he said, my name is Yash and I welcome you to this webinar, and I hope I can help you somehow, more or less. We'll see toward the end how much I was able to solve your questions and how doubtful you are. So before we start, I would like to say a few words. He mentioned that during this talk, you're not supposed to ask question in between, because I hope you understand, because while I'm giving a presentation and if you ask question, it will be bothersome for everyone else because they have to wait, and it might delay the presentation, it might delay, and it's Saturday, it's weekend, it's already 6 o'clock. So most of you have some other plans in the evening. So that's understandable. And the second, if you, for example, if while I'm talking and if you have some doubts, what you can do is you can write them down somewhere on a piece of paper, on your mobile phone, or you can text Himanshu. And then at the end, Himanshu, if you forgot your question, Himanshu might ask them, or if you have written them somewhere, you can ask them. So that way your doubts are cleared. And I'll start the presentation. I hope you can see my slide. I hope you can see the slides, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So before I start, during this presentation, I'll be using the approach as top-down. What I mean by this approach is that first I will tell you why it is important. You will understand. For example, this is the content of the slides, and the slides are divided into two parts. It's what you need to do during graduation. When you are in university right now, I think most of you are in second year. So what you need to do right now, and then after graduation, during your third year, during your final semester, when you're waiting for the results, or maybe during February or March during your exam time, what you need to do. But let me tell you this in advance, that what I'm going to tell you today is based on my own experience. So don't take it too seriously and don't get demotivated. It's just my own experience, what I went through when I was applying to different universities or jobs, or what I was doing during my college life. So it's just my own experience and what I did and what I went through. So don't get demotivated and don't take it too seriously. It's just to help you. It's just to give you a path so that maybe you'll come across a similar situation and you can solve it like how I solved it. Or maybe you will come across a different situation like totally new. Nobody knows what to do. Even you don't know what to do. But you have like, I hope this presentation or this webinar will give you a little bit idea, and it might help you a little bit during that time. Okay, so let's get into it. The first phase, like we mentioned, what to do during bachelor's. And this is the most crucial time of your life. And why is that? See, in high school, when you were in school, you picked one subject. I'm guessing most of you picked science during your plus two, and then for some reason, for one reason or another, now you are here in Delhi University pursuing computer science. So now you have to utilize it. You already picked your subject, so I hope that you thought something before picking this subject, computer science. So now you have to utilize this to full extent. So I I guess everyone knows this meme. I think we have seen this meme on the social media quite a lot. Life after college, like the college graduates wants a job or wants to get into some work experience, and they go for a job interview, and the guy sitting in front of you, the HR is like, you do not have experience. And then you're like, but I need this job to get experience. So how to get experience? And they are like, then what? So this cycle continues. No matter where you are, no matter who you are, no matter where you graduate from, this cycle will happen. So how to break this cycle? Because breaking the cycle is the most important thing right now. Because if you do not break the cycle, then what to do? So how to break the cycle? So there are some ways you can break, because, for example, like I said, that after graduating, after your graduation, you go to a company and you give interview. Maybe they will hire you, maybe they will ask for work experience. But during the initial phase, when you send your resume to a company, they generally look for two or three things. And let me tell you, when you submit a resume to a company, the HR or maybe some other person who is looking at resume, they will look at your resume for 15-second or 30-second max, and you have to make your impression within this time. So what they will look is, what is your experience, what are your skills, and what is your education. So there is a misconception among us students, that if you get good grades during your bachelor's, for example, you get all eights, you get all nines during your 3 years education, all semester you have like 9, 9, 9, 9, and you are the top student, that will guarantee you a job. No, it won't. But I'm not telling you don't aim for nine, but don't think that only getting nine will help you. It will not help you. This is just one part. Because like I said, when you send a resume, your experience matter. They look at your education, but they look at your education and your scores just to get an idea like what you studied. For example, obviously in your resume you will write that you completed your bachelor's in computer science. So now they have idea that during this, like during your education, you might have studied this and this and this. So maybe you might be able to help their company. And your score point is just relevant for the initial line. Like if you have if you have total of 5 or 6 points, then maybe they will not take you. Maybe they will not pay attention. But if you have like 7.5 or 8 above, then it's okay. Then it's fine. So now they move forward to the skills part and your experience part. But how to get experience? And the previous slide showed that work, but how? So there are some ways you can get this experience before graduation and before going to full-time job. So some ways are internship, like I mentioned, internship, contribute to open source projects, or maybe work on your personal project and make it public. So I'll elaborate all of this. So first is internship. Why internships are important, and especially during your studying. See, you study in your class. For example, in first semester you study C++, then Java, and now maybe you're studying data structures, operating systems. So you have all the theoretical knowledge. I agree that you get lab classes, you have laboratory work which you need to do, but let's be honest, your laboratory work is not it's not that much advanced that it will help you during a job. So, and I think if I remember correctly, during the laboratory work, we do the basic task. Yes, as you will go in next semesters, like in fourth or fifth semester, you will get a bit harder laboratory work, but still it is not that much relevant for jobs. It is important to practice your skills, but so how to get the skills and but you studied in a classroom, you studied everything. You studied lots of data structures, you studied lots of algorithms, you practice your programming skills, you now know C++, you think you are really good at C++, and you think I have cracked most of the algorithms and now I can do the difficult task. So now it's the time to test your skills. So how to test your skills? The first way is to apply for internships. And the good thing, like really good thing about internships is that the companies do not want you to have like high experience. They do not want like you have 5 years of experience, 7 years of experience. No, they just want an undergraduate student or maybe a graduate student, different thing, but an undergraduate student who is studying, like you shouldn't be graduated by that time, and maybe you are in second year or maybe you are in third year, so you can apply for internships, and it will really help you. Why? See, in these companies, like how I did internship, I during my second year in the summer vacation, there was sorry, there was a internship fair in my university, in my college, and one company came there, and actually they were hiring not CS graduates, they were hiring from other department like BCom, and like art students. They were hiring art students. But I just went and I saw the CTO of that company. I didn't know that he is the CTO, but I just started talking to him and I asked like, what is your company? What do you do? And like the whole process. So he explained it to me and he gave me his email address. He was like, this is my email address and this is the company name. You can search it. So I asked him like, do you have any internship available for CS graduates? So he was like, please, like, right now there are some, but we have to communicate, and you need to share your resume and all. So this is the email address. So I went home. I looked for the company and I saw their web page and what they do. So I prepared my resume. I prepared a short introduction about me, just the short like what is my name, what did I study, what are my plus points, what are my minuses. I said that I'm really good at Python and I can do this in Python. So I sent this email to the CTO, and for I think 2 or 3 days I didn't receive any email from the guy. Like I waited patiently, and I was getting really nervous. Like what will happen? What will happen? So I think after third day or fourth day, he finally responded. He was like, "Okay, we read your resume, this. But before we can talk any further, this is a task that you have to solve. And if you can solve this task, please solve this task, send the result to us, and next week or next to next week, we'll have a meeting." So this is one thing, how in right now in tech world, interviews happen. First they send you a short task, and maybe the task will be related to the job or the internship you're going to do. So my task was to build a recommender system, because the company was, what was the company? Company basically was an entertainment company. And for example, you have some, let's say you have a birthday party and you want to call a DJ, or you want to call a singer, or you want to call a magician to your party. So you can go to their company, you can fill some form, and they will suggest you some artists which are within your price range. So they asked me that this is what we do, and we want to build a recommender system to automatically recommend artists as soon as they sign up. So I was like, okay. So he gave me a task like you have to build a recommender system, and you have to send the results within 1 week. So that's what I did. I collected the data and I built a recommender system for movies based on the open source movie dataset, and I sent the result. And he was like, okay, he saw my results and he was like, okay, next week come to the office and we'll have a official talk. So I went to the office and we talked. Somehow it worked, and then they hired me for a short period of internship. It was 6 weeks. So that was how I got my first industrial internship. So, and during that internship, like before that internship, I used to think that yes, I know Python, yes, I know data structure, yes, I know all about data analysis, and yes, I can do it. That's not true. That didn't work out. So during the first week, or I think 10 days, it was really hard to adapt to the new environment because I was not used to getting into this environment. So it was a hard time, and maybe you'll face similar situation. And my advice to you during this, like if you face a similar situation, is that don't get demotivated, don't take it personally, like don't take it on your ego, and do not get demotivated, but just work. During the internship, your only goal and the only goal you have is to get the experience. See, you would be working amongst the like highly intelligent people, like they are running a company, so they are smart. So your only goal is to get the experience and learn as much as you can, even if it's something not closely related to you, but like in broad thing it is related to you. Just learn. That's all. And believe me, if you do this, if I hope you all of you get internships. I have listed some websites. I'll send the presentation to you later on. You can use these websites to look for internships, but please apply for internships, please. And one other way, except this website, is that you should stay in contact with your university alumni. What I mean is like this year there must be some like the last batch which graduated. Maybe they have started working somewhere else, in some companies. You can stay in contact with them, and then you can ask them like, do you have an internship available? Do you have some work available in your company? So you should stay in contact with them. And the one more important thing to do is show your social presence on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on GitHub. If I'm not wrong, some of you are in Google Developers Club. I congratulate you for that, first of all. And everyone who is not a part, please ask these people who are a part of them that how you can help them or how you can take advantage of this. See, it's really rare for like Delhi University colleges to get this opportunity, and your college has got like the students of your batch has got this opportunity. So utilize it. Ask them how you can help them. Ask them for more and more content. I see every day that you're organizing many meetups and many talks, which is really good. Attend them. You will learn something new. Trust me. Okay, so that was internship. The second point is open source projects. So before going into it, what is an open source project? So open source projects are basically all the software you see on GitHub, which are open for everyone to edit, to publish, to make changes. So for example, Python is an open source project. Even you can go to the Python repository. You can see that there is something lacking. You can issue an pull request. You can make the changes. And if the team accepts your pull request, then your changes with the changes you made will be accepted in Python. So these are open source projects. So why open source project? Why you should contribute to open source project, and how will this give you experience? See, open source projects are really good way to showcase your employer that you know how to do something. And it could be anything, even if it's a simple documentation, writing a proper documentation. That's something like you would be able to show that yes, I can write this documentation, and that's a really plus point. And second is that it will be a really great way to learn, get a real life experience, especially in a situation like this. Like all of you know that we are currently in this coronavirus situation, and many companies are not taking interns, and they are not hiring people. So you're just sitting at home, and your classes are also online. So you have some time. So this is a great opportunity for you to contribute to open source projects. This will improve your coding skills. This will teach you how to work in teamwork, because when you will work on something, there will be many people who will look through your work, who will make sure that what you did was correct, make sure that it passes all the test cases. They will make sure that it works, because it must work everywhere, because this open source project is really huge, like Python. So everyone will look at you, and you would have to ask these people for your help. Maybe you're stuck somewhere, you would have to ask. So this will teach you teamwork, and teamwork is one one of the most important things that you will need. No matter if you do job, no matter if you go for masters, you will need teamwork, because for job you will be working in a team, and you need to communicate with everyone. Like maybe in your team there are five students, five people. Maybe in your team there are 10 people, and you need to communicate with everyone, and you need to take everyone together. So this will also teach you leadership. Like you will learn from the leaders how they communicate with everyone, and how they pass on the work, and how like everything works. And if you contribute, and if you will showcase on GitHub, you should showcase it on GitHub, you should showcase it on LinkedIn, you should showcase it on Twitter, on Facebook, on WhatsApp, everywhere. Any platform that you can find, showcase it. If you have to write personal email to your classmates, or personal emails to people that I did this work, please check it out, do it. You just have to showcase. How will it help you? All the tech people, maybe only not only tech people, maybe people who are outside tech, they will see you, they will see that you did something, and you will be recognized by peers, and this is a really good thing. If you start getting recognized by your peers, there's a high chance that you'll get a job or an internship. And also the last but not the least point, that you learned from this community, you learned from this open source community, so it's a really good way to contribute back to the community. So way to look for open source projects. So your best friend is GitHub. Just go on GitHub and just explore. There are many, are huge. Literally, there are huge amount of repository on GitHub which is just open source, and you can start contributing right now. And it doesn't have to be like a huge chain. It could be just a simple documentation. It could be just simple commenting on code. It could be simply refactoring the code. So you can start with little by little. Another way is to go on Google Open Source. This is also similar to GitHub, but there are not many projects available, but there are some projects available which are recognized by Google, and it's a good opportunity. But I will still suggest you to first start with GitHub. And you must have noticed that in the introduction I mentioned that the last one is to, maybe you have some idea and you can work. So that's the last one. Maybe you have some cool idea. So what do I mean by that? Wait a second. Yes. So what do I mean by that? Maybe some of you have some ideas regarding maybe a change in a already existing project, or maybe you have some ideas regarding a cool project which you think might help someone, like you understand, like something like this. So what you can do is you can start working on it. You should make it public. You don't make it private. If it is confidential, then private, but try to make it public, and like day by day or maybe week by week, push your changes to GitHub and ask your friends to contribute to it, ask the peers to contribute to it, ask anyone you can find, like look at it, this is what, can you help me improve it, what do you think is lacking here? So this way you will learn, you will understand that how this whole open source project works, or how even in company how things work. So this will help you, and when you will ask for advice, maybe you'll get a really good advice from people who are really experienced, and maybe you'll get famous, who knows. And one more thing, participate in Hackfest and Hackathons. Like I suggested, you have the Google Developers Club in your college. So this also includes in this. Maybe they will organize some festival, like hacking festival, or some codathons or something related to that. Ask them, stay in contact with them. And if you think they are not going to organize, force them to organize, because they have the opportunity and they have the resources. So ask them, force them, even if you have to, that please organize some hackathons in the college and participate in them. Because this is also a good way to expand your networks. You can call students from outside university, from different colleges or from different university. You will expand your network. You will talk to other students, how they are doing, what skills they know. You will improve not only your coding skill, but your social skill. Because generally in hackathon, you have to present your work also. It's not just about coding a solution. You have to present this solution to the peers. So this way you will also improve your social skills. And the best thing about hackathon, what I think is that you do not have to worry about failure because this is experimental playground. What do I mean by this is maybe yeah, it's a like an open hackathon that you can give your own idea and then you can work on it. So it's a really good platform to experiment. You do not have to worry about failure. Even if it fails, you learn something new. So you can just get rid of this idea that what if it doesn't work, what if this happens, what if that happens. Just forget about it. Just experiment. Maybe you have some new idea. Maybe you want to experiment with new technology. So this is the best way to do it because what will happen at the max? You will not win the hackathon. No problem. You learn something new. Now you maybe you like this new technology. Maybe you like this idea. Maybe you will grow on it. Maybe you will get the feedback that okay, in this idea this was lacking. So you can improve on it. So my experience with hackathon is there was a hackathon organized by, if I'm not wrong, Rajasthan government, and I went. Me and my team. My team was one of my classmates and two students from I think IP University. They are my school friends. So we made a team and we went to Rajasthan to participate on it. Unfortunately, we didn't win. Our idea was not strong enough, but I don't mind because when the judges came and the people working in tech industry came and the people who are contributing to open source project came and they looked at our code and they gave us feedback and they talked to us, that was the experience which I wanted, and that helped me a lot. That helped me like, okay, this is where I'm lacking. This is what I need to do. This is the thing that I need to focus on right now. So that's what I did. That's all of us did. So that was a really good experience, and I suggest you to also experience this and get a taste of how it is. So maybe if like by the like right now, maybe your college is not organizing something or something, but you want to still participate on hackathons, or maybe you want to look on the previous hackathons. So these are the websites. I think all of you know this website, especially the Google one and the Google hash code. And you can just go on this website and just look for what were the past hackathons, which team participated, what were the main ideas that we were talking about, what were the teams. So this way you will learn like, okay, so this is the trend or this is how they are participating. So you will get a basic idea, and maybe this will motivate you or this will excite you to participate in a hackathon. Okay, so like I said, I will be following a top-down approach. So what do I mean by that was that I started with what you will need. Like you will need a job. I hope most of you need a job or want to pursue masters. So that was the main goal. But how to get it? So there was internship, and then there was participating in hackathon. Then there was contributing to open source projects. But before that, the basic thing, like to participate in hackathon or to get internship or to contribute, you should know some basic stuff. This is the list, but don't take it too seriously because this is important, but not that like it's not the only thing. One thing I should mention is that data structure and algorithms is important. If it is possible for you to dilute it into water and drink it, you can just do it. This is really important. Maybe you will not use. I'm not saying that you will use it every day in your life. Maybe you will not use. I think even I do not use. I work and still I don't use this algorithms and data structures every day. But why is it important? See, everyone has this misconception that data structure and algorithm is just about like learning about the data structures, their runtime, and their, how much memory they take, how they run. No, it's not about this. This is the part. But the main point about learning data structure and algorithm is to think. You have a problem. For example, you have a list and you want to sort this list. So this is a problem. And these algorithms and these data structures that you use to solve this problem are just a solution. But what data structure and algorithm teaches you is how to think, how to come up to the solution, and how to use the solution. So this is a really important thing. So do not memorize algorithms, do not memorize data structures and their runtime. Okay, for exams, maybe you need to memorize them, but I would still suggest you do not memorize them, understand them. Like why does binary search work? Why does hashing table works? why does a red black tree works, why does a binary search tree works, and why was it designed like this. Understand these questions, and as soon as you get this as soon as you understand these points, I'm pretty sure that right, like passing your exams will be like really easy, because you know the whole concept, like why this works. So even if they give you a twisted question, you still will know, okay, so this is just an indirect question for binary search tree, and you will just like apply it and like done. So learn data structure and algorithms, but more importantly, do not memorize them, understand them. And then there is discrete mathematics. Why discrete mathematics? Because again, you have to understand, in discrete mathematics you study logics, and logic is one thing which you will use almost every day indirectly. Like logic, like your whole system, this computer which you're looking through, and it's just built of logic. It's nothing, it's just a simple wired machine, and in that wire it's just logic. It's just logic. So to understand how this things works, you need to understand logics. And then there are some advanced concepts like probability, statistics, and I think permutation and combination. They are required, but they are not. You know, you can learn them on your own even in later in life. Like for example, you start working or you start doing your masters, and you understand that for this you need permutation and combination to study. So you can just look back and you can study. So memorizing is not anyway in mathematics you shouldn't memorize, even if it is just basic mathematics. And the other subjects which I have mentioned are operating system and networking. Networking I have mentioned for because I got to know that some of you might be interested in cybersecurity, or maybe going into the security side, offensive, defensive, cracking, this sort of thing. So networking and operating system will really help you. And the book that I don't know what book you study from, but I think we studied operating system from Galvin, and Galvin is considered as the holy Bible for operating system. So even if you study just the book, I'm not saying to pass exams. That's a different concept. Passing exams, I think all of you can. You have been doing it, and even I did it. So that's not the point. But the point is to learn. So you can. What I will suggest you is, for example, you want to go into cybersecurity. So what you can do is you can search cybersecurity on Google, and you can see the requirements that they have. For example, they require that you should know networking. They require that you should know operating system. But which concepts in operating system? For example, they want you to learn pagination. They want you to learn how fork work. They want to know how like or maybe your teacher in your university, and you can ask like, okay, I need to concentrate on this part, this topic, and I will concentrate on only this topic for right now, because this will help me grow. So you can follow this strategy. This is known as top-down strategy, that you have a goal in your hand. For example, like now said that you want to learn cybersecurity, so you have a goal in your hand, and to achieve this goal, you go step by step or one step further, like just iterative process, step by step, go to next step and the next step and next step, and you won't realize that how fast it will work, and within just maybe few weeks or months, you will be like way ahead of where you were when you were starting. I hope this is clear. Okay, so that was about what you need to do during graduation and during college, and how to get internships. Just a sorry, but I would have to pause this presentation because due to some technical difficulties, I have to change my position to a different room, because they are going to have some other stuff in this room. Sorry, but I will join you in just 5 minutes. I hope you don't mind.
No issue, sir.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Just 5 minutes. So you can see, right?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, great. So uh, where was I? Yeah. So I was talking about I said the whole process. I was talking about the whole process that what you need to do during your bachelor's, during your college life. So now let's move on to what you need to do after graduation. Or it's not exactly after graduation, it's more like uh, the time period when you graduate and you have finished your exams, or like during the final exam. So that period of time, that's an important period of time, because that's the time you decide what you need to do next. So what to do? So what are the available paths? And let me say, these are not the only ones, but this is relevant to our webinar, and this is relevant to this talk which I'm giving. So there are two: get a job or start your business, or go for higher education. So go for education. I mean, if you want to pursue masters in MSc or MCA, or maybe some of you want to do MBA. There were some in my class during bachelor's who wanted to pursue MBA, and I think they went on to this path. And I'm guessing some of them are pursuing MBA, some of them are doing masters. So, and some are doing job. So these are the paths available. So for job, to get job, I told you the all the necessary things that you need to focus on during your bachelor's. As get internships as many as you can, contribute to open source projects to get experience, participate in hackathons, show your social presence on Twitter, LinkedIn, on GitHub, like as much as you can, showcase yourself, as much as you can sell yourself. You just need to sell yourself to the employer, that just need to showcase that, yes, I can do this stuff. Yes, if you hire me, I will help you and your company. So you just need to show this. Start practicing for your interview questions, like for your interviews right now. And the best way to do is, see, before this, there's one thing which I would like to say: this interview is not just about solving a coding task, or giving the right answer during your question Q&A. It's more than that. You have to present yourself. That's a really important thing, how you present yourself during an interview. So what do I mean by present yourself? Like, when you'll go for an interview, you need to have confidence. Like, you need to show confidence. Don't show overconfidence. That's also not healthy. But just show confidence, that yes, I know what I know. Like, I have prepared well enough, and I can solve this task which you gave or you are going to give. So I am the right person for this. And do not undersell yourself. Like, do not undersell yourself means is that you know what is your worth. So stay on that thing. Like, if they say, okay, we'll hire you, but for a less position or for less pay, or like you have to do internship first, but you know that no, I deserve a job and I am better than the other candidate. So stay on that. Do not just go for, do not short sell yourself. So practicing interviews, one way is there are many websites on the internet. I think Lead Code, and there was some, I cannot remember the names, but there are some many websites where you can practice interview questions. But they basically focus more on data structure and algorithm questions, or these sort of questions. These are important, but like I said, if you know the concepts, they are not that hard. What you should focus is, for example, some of you maybe want to get a job in data analysis, data scientist, or a machine learning engineer. So look for that special, if you want to get if you want to get hired as a machine learning engineer, so search machine learning engineer interview questions. So these interview questions will be totally different than other, like, people who are getting hired for cybersecurity. So look for these questions and start practicing. Like, okay, so this is the answer. How will I present this answer? Maybe they will not even ask you to give answer. They will just give you, for example, how my interview went for machine learning. So I my first interview was on Python, and They didn't ask me any data structure question or this question. I even suggested, and they were like, no, we know even if you want to solve a data structure question, you can just Google it and you will get the runtime and the space complexity. That is not the important thing. So what they asked me for my current job was the core Python questions. And let me tell you, they were not easy. I had a really hard time when I was answering because it was like I know these answers, but how do I tell them? Because like they are two core questions. For example, he one of the questions that they asked me was uh, how in Python we have like in normal languages we have normal for loops. In Python we also have generators. So his basic question was how does generator work and why does it work? So I was like this is like a core question, how to present, how do I present. So every interview, every company has a different way of taking interview, so you should practice this, so that you have a confidence. And once you have confidence, then it's just apply. That's all. And I think University of Delhi organizes various placement drives. I think there was one in the central, I think in North Campus, in South Campus. There was in my university organized by BCom students and CS students. I was a part of it. I helped them organize it. And so there are some placement drives within your university. And if there are not, then you should look also off campus. So off campus is bit hard. I'll not deny it's a bit hard, and it's not going to be an easy task. But if you crack it, it's a big win-win. And what do you need to do for off campuses? Just this process. Prepare for interviews as much as you can and pick, like, for example, like I said, you want to do machine learning, you want to go cyber security, you want to go web development, you want to go front end development, you want to go back end development. So pick, like, this is what I want to do and start practicing for that. Get really good at it. Maybe work on, like, if you didn't, unfortunately, if you didn't get any internships during your education and you want to, for example, go for front end, so what you can do is you can create website. So you can create a really pretty looking website, or like, I don't, let's be honest, I do not know anything about front end. I am a full backend developer, but my friends are. So what they tell me is that they need to create portfolios. So you can create websites for portfolios. You can send this websites which you have already developed and published, and you can send them to your employer, like, see, I built this on my own during this time, so I know how to do it. Or maybe, for example, you see that this is the company I want to work on. These are the companies that I work on, and they are right now using, for example, JavaScript or Node.js. So maybe you can learn Node.js or JS, and you can create a website in JS or Node.js, and you can send it. So I hope you understand that you need to pick one and then slowly improve on it, and then you can, start applying. And maybe it will take time. Don't get demotivated if it takes time. If you don't get your first interview cleared, it's okay. It's okay. Don't just give up. I know many people who are right now really famous, who got rejected 50, 60 times, and still there are some people who are actually really known in industry, and they are still getting rejected by companies for no apparent reason. So when you get rejected, it's not that you do not know anything, or you're not experienced, or you're not skilled. No, it's just that your vision and the company's vision didn't match. That's the only reason. Do not question yourself. Just look for a different company, practice more, learn more, and apply more. Apply more. That's all. Next is higher studies. Maybe you don't want to get into job. Maybe too bothersome. Maybe you want to get to academics, and you want to pursue masters and go into academia, or maybe research or stuff like that. Or with MBA, you want to directly jump that corporate ladder. So for higher studies, I would suggest you, the first thing you should ask yourself is, why do you want to pursue masters? Let it be any masters. Master for MSc, MCA, MBA, any masters. Why do you want to do it? Like, what's your reason? If it's just because your friend is doing, or if just because your whole class is doing, or if your parents told you, your friends told you, your relatives told you that no, you need to do masters, otherwise you will not do this, you cannot, grow So you need your own reason. You must have your own reason why you want to do this. And once you have your own reason, then you can, everything will be clear because you have own reason, you have your own goal. I want to pursue masters for this reason. Then you will not get demotivated with this whole process. So you ask yourself, you have a goal that this is the reason I want to pursue masters. Then you can pick a career path. By career path, I mean is uh, you want to, like, in which, like, in masters there are, I'm talking about MSc because, like, in the introduction, I'm an MSc student, so I can say more about MSc. So in MSc, you have two options. One MSc is the subject wise, and one MSc is by research. So by research is that you pick a topic that you want to research on, and during your MSc, you take some compulsory subjects. These subjects are necessary to get your grade points, and you complete these subjects, but your main focus would be on that particular research topic that you're working on. So you will learn especially subjects related to that, and you will grow, and then you will pass your masters with a master thesis. And the other one is subject wise. And in subject wise, then there are two categories. There is open credit and closed credit. Open credits are that there are some courses which are, compulsory for everyone to do, and then there are some courses which you can elect. Like, just like in bachelor's, in final year we have elective courses. So similar situation. And in this also, in some university, in final semester, you have a master thesis, and some you have just exams. But I think right now, in most of the universities that I know in Europe, in even in India, there are some master university, like university which have masters. They are mostly thesis based. So you during a 3 semester, you do subjects. Maybe it is open credit or closed credit, and during a final semester, you write a master thesis. It's same for me. So right now I'm in third semester, so I have less subjects, but my subjects are more focused on what I want to pursue, what I like, what topic I will write my master thesis on. And my next semester, starting from February till I think June, I would have this whole time to work on my master thesis. I would have to do research, write a master thesis, and defense it. So you will only graduate if you defend your master thesis in front of a committee. Like, if the committee accepts your master thesis and they're like, okay, this is a good topic and you defended it perfectly and your research work is worthy, so you graduate. So this is different forms of masters. So if you really want to do this, and even after hearing this description, you still think this is what I want to do, so what you should do is you should start looking for university which offers masters. Maybe it is in India or maybe it is abroad. I think this is what I would suggest you to do. Even in India. So you can look for maybe in Europe, you can look in Singapore, you can look in Japan, and there are many universities which are offering masters to international students because it's a, I would say it's a trend. It's a trend for to everyone to get masters. So you can start looking for universities. So what advice I would give you for this is create an Excel sheet. Create a Excel sheet, and in that create multiple columns. First column, you can write the name of the university. Then you can write which program they're offering, like which type of master they're offering, what are their requirements, and what is the deadline, and what is the, they have some special, some university have some special criteria that you must do this before you enter or after this you enter. So you can also add if you find any additional information, but create Excel sheet with this 4 columns: in name of the university, what type of master they are offering, requirements, and deadline, and create a list, this whole table. So this way you have an informed, a table with all the university that you want to apply from, or maybe you can first search maybe 1,000 university or 100, 500 university which are offering, and then you can shortlist. Okay, so this I don't want to go, this I don't want to go, this is better master program, this I like. So you can shortlist, and then you have a shorter list. And the good thing is that in one column, in your third column, you have requirements. So with this requirement, you will have a goal. Okay, so this is the requirements that this universities ask. So I need to focus on this. So examples of requirements and which are uh, journal, like almost every university asks, is a statement of purpose and a motivation letter. So what is a motivation letter? So they can both be different or same depending on the university, but generally motivation letter is why. The first question that I asked you, why do you want to why do you want to pursue masters? So this is your motivation. Why do you want to do it? What is your purpose? What will you gain? And so this is the motivation letter, and the statement of purpose is similar to this, but here you have to mention more like, why do you want to do this? Why especially this? Which research topic you are picking, or why this university only? Why this country? Or this sort of questions you have to address in this statement of purpose. And this is important. This is actually really important. Your application depends on the first two things in this list: statement of purpose and recommendation letter. So recommendation letter is which your professors will write for you. Generally, I think on an average, university require 2 or 3 recommendation letters when you apply for masters. At least in Europe, they ask 3 or 4, 2 or 3. So, friendly advice: do not make enemy with your professors. They are not your enemy. They are your, they are there to help you, because if you actually want to do masters, they have to write a recommendation letter for you. So try to stay in good terms with your professors. Then some, I think not some, I think now everyone is asking this English proficiency. I have no idea why. Don't ask me. But for some reason they want you to prove that you speak English even when your whole degree was in English, even all the subjects you study was in English, the exam you wrote was in English, the certificate that you got was in English, but still for some reason they want English proficiency. Okay, no personal grudges, but okay. So and then the grade transcript, which is just your the university, the Delhi University, which gives after every semester which subject you studied, how much you graded, what was the total. So this grade transcript you need to send. So generally the master's program opened in October for if you want to start your master's in September of next year. For example, if you want to start your master's in 2021 in September, so right now most of the universities have opened their master's program. So you should have this in mind that when you're applying. I made this mistake. I didn't know this, that this starts in October, that it's so early. And when I got to know this, it got really, I had some hard time to apply because I was not prepared. So I'm telling you this, so you should keep this in mind in advance that for next year you will be in third year. And if you want to do, I think in 2022 in September, you want to start your master's. So you should start looking before, and by October, you should have a clear idea in mind where you want to apply and how you want to apply. And there are some universities which also start their this deadline process or this application process in January. But there are only few which starts in January. Mostly they start in October or November. Okay, this is for studying masters. So I told you what are the process, what you need to know, and how to solve this. But maybe some of you want to, go on scholarships, because let's be honest, if you are doing masters outside India, it's going to be expensive, and they require a hell lot of money, and money just not for to pay for university fees, but you have to pay for to travel, the flight tickets, to stay, to live, to eat, for everything. So maybe you want to go through in scholarship. So I have mentioned some examples of exams for the first two in this. The open doors is what I applied for. This is for Russian universities. So how this work is, there are 2 phases in Open Doors Olympiad. The first phase is you will upload these documents. So this 4 documents which I have mentioned, the statement of purpose, recommendation letter, your English proficiency, grade transcript, you upload this, and some additional like your name, your email address, your phone number, and blah, 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 blah. So you fill this, and in the second phase, first they will look at your application. I forgot to mention in this, they also ask for your resume, but that resume is not that important. But it's like a short summary. So it's a short summary of who you are and what did you do. So resume also. So you apply, you fill this form, you submit it. They will look through your application. They will read your statement of purpose. They will look at your recommendation letter. They will look at your resume, and they will shortlist. Okay, so these are the students which will go in second phase. So you go in second phase, and in second phase you have a written exam. Since I was applying for computer science, so I had exam in computer science. I had 7 questions which were there during the exams, and the questions were a mix of data structures, database, algorithm, networking, operating systems, and assembly. So it was a mix of these, and every year they change it. So you should look for their previous question papers, but generally they have a mix of what you studied during your bachelor's. It will not be, and there will be nothing outside what you studied during your bachelor's. It will totally be within that. So you write your exams, you submit your solution, and then you wait. So, and during this exam, at least in open doors, my web camera was on, my mic was on at the whole time, and one instructor is on the other side of the screen is looking at me to make sure that I do not cheat, or I am giving exam and I'm not using some notebooks, or I'm asking someone, or not using internet. So just precaution. So you give this exam, and if everything goes well, you get selected, and then you get the option. You have to fill a form, which university you want to pick. Generally they give you options between 3 or 4. Like, you need to write in priority list, these are the 4 universities which you would like to go to, and then you pass it to, like, you submit it to the Russian government, and in this case Russian government, and then they will look through. I don't know what they go through after that, but they generally take around a month or 2 to shortlist the students who will come, and then you will get an email, and after that it's just like apply for scholarship, and not apply for scholarship, apply for visa, and then just go and study. Second one is also for Japanese universities. This is actually really, really famous. This is even more famous than the Russian open doors one. This also has similar process. There are some changes, some different things, but it's almost similar process. And in both, actually, you have opportunity to study in their native language. For example, in Russian, you have option to study in Russian masters, and in Japanese, you have an option to study in Japanese. So some of you might get this question, but we do not speak Russian, or we do not speak Japanese. So don't worry, they have an additional year before your masters, so they will teach you Japanese, or they will teach you Russian for 1 whole year, only Russian for studying CS, and then you can study CS. But if you do not want to learn foreign language and study in that foreign language, you can just go for English programs. But let me tell you this, that English, while like when you are shortlisting, if you go for one of these scholarships, if you are filling out the university which you want to apply for, for English master's program, you should talk to some already graduate students, or students who are already studying there, international students, I mean, who are already studying, to get a sense of like how the university is and how their English program is, or what they teach and how does it work. So you should get this idea before you write the name of the universities. Then for people who want to go for MCA, it's NIMSET, which is offered by NITs. I think everyone is aware of this NIMSET, and it's also a similar process. You just have to write an exam. I think exam deadlines are different, and now it will be more different because of this coronavirus situation. But it's a similar process. You have to prepare for exams. Again, it will be within what you studied during your 3 years, combination of data structures, algorithms, operating system, networking, database. So these are the main things they ask you questions on. So you can just prepare for this, and voila, you will pass. For people who want to do masters, so if you want to search, you need a help for searching. So these are some websites which you can use. Masters portal, find a masters, but I would still suggest you to search on universities on your own. Maybe you already have some universities in your mind. Maybe some of you want to go to Europe. Maybe some of you want to go to Singapore. Some of you want to go to Japan. Or some of you want to go to America or Canada. Or some of you want to study in India. So you already have this. Some of you already have this idea. So you might also have some ideas like which university you want to apply for. So you should start looking for this. And if you get stuck and if you're like, okay, I only found 5 universities, now what to do? So you can use this websites to search for more universities. Okay, so this is about exams. But Himanshu told me that most of you have this idea in your mind that when you apply for masters abroad, they ask for 4-year degrees, and they will, since you have 3 years degree, they will not accept you. So it's not true. Yes, they ask for 4-year degrees, but you will be shocked to know this, that most of the universities in the world recognize Delhi University's degree of 3 years. So they have a special category. They have a special, with star, that if it's a 3-year degree from Delhi University, it is acceptable. So do not worry that they will not accept you because you do not have 4-year degree or you do not have a BTech degree. No, Delhi University degree and Mumbai University degree, and I think there is one more Indian university whose degree is acceptable. But for sure, Delhi University's degree is acceptable in most of the universities around the world. And if you still have doubt, so these universities have, admission committee, and you can find their email address on their websites, on their respective websites. So what you can do is you can just write an email. You can say that you studied in Delhi University. These are the subjects you studied. You can, attach your transcript. That this is my transcript. These are the subjects I study, and we have 3-year degree, and I would like to apply for masters in your university. Is it possible? Because in your in the information you mentioned that only 4-year degrees is required. So you can just ask this question. They are more than willing to help you if you have doubt. But as far as I know, because I applied and one of my friend is studying in Finland, in University of Finland. So, and he was also accepted in one of the universities in, if I'm not wrong, Italy. So he was accepted there. So both are in Europe, and both the universities were actually quite famous. And we both had 3-year degree, and still we both got accepted in these universities. So that's what I'm saying. Do not have this misconception in your mind that you have 3-year degrees that you cannot apply. No, you can apply. And even if you think that you cannot apply, still apply. What's the maximum thing that can happen? They will reject you, right? That's all. So what's the harm in applying? Why do you have to create this mental image in your mind that no, this is only for 4-year students, I cannot apply? Do not create this image in your mind. Apply. And if you still have doubt and you think, okay, apply, like I have stopped out, just email this admission committee and they will help you. Or maybe ask some of your seniors. If you still have doubts, ask me. I will search a little bit more. I will give my email address to Himanshu, and you can directly ask me. You can just write me an email that this is the university that I want to apply. I'm not sure if they accept it 4-year or 3-year ones. So can you help? So I'll help. So that was the end of my time. I'm sorry if I took too much of your time on weekend and especially in evening. And I know it went a little bit, it was, I think, supposed to be only 45 minutes, and I'm pretty sure it went more than 45 minutes. So now I'm willing to take any questions you have, any doubts you have, anything you want to ask.